And now, live from the Steel Twins recording studio in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan, it's your boys, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins. What's up, everybody? It's Monday night, and you know what that means.
That's right. It is voice acting night.
Absolutely. So we got a little bit of a different setup. You may not be able to see it here, but
Maddie!
Hi, Maddie.
So how are we sounding, everybody?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, please keep a keen ear on what you hear, and if you feel that one of us is too quiet, or if something feels off, but I mean, I think we got it as best as we can get it. Because we were able to get rid of a lot of equipment, huh? Oh yeah. You want to talk?
Yeah. So yeah. So if you can hear me better, good. If not, then maybe it's because we need to switch in between mics for every time we speak. That's going to be a challenge, isn't it, Cannonball?
It sure is, and I think we're going to have to play Andrew sounds super soft. Exactly. So we will do whatever we can. To keep whoever's speaking, we have to go into our software application, and we're gonna have to play hot potato. And I'd like to figure out how to use one for one, but hey, that's fine, And we could go with a dual PC setup, but it's the best that we have with what we have. But I'll tell you this: the equipment will be a lot more reliable.
Absolutely, and. Okay, Alex's mic is working, and now I'm speaking into my mic, and I believe that one is working as well. So, my Alex can try to help you. Oh, help that I would appreciate it. Hey, Alex Pulowski, thanks for joining the chat, my man. You guys are the absolute best. You are our OGs. You are our day ones. You are our partners in crime. You've always shown our support, and there's nothing. I have nothing short of great gratitude for you guys.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm intentionally not switching to the other input. I want to see how I sound in this moment in time. And I also turned up a volume somewhere. And maybe, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, Alex Pulowski, if you can, if any insight you can bring to this cacophony, that's a word, then just let us know. But you know something, I'm a little bit peckish, or I'm a little bit parched. Aren't you peckish?
Yeah. Before we begin, though, Followers' Choice. Maddie has so far come into the stream and suggested I stream Diablo this Saturday. I'm going to keep that in mind, but I'm not going to have that limited to just one choice. I want all the followers to join on the chat to suggest other streams, whether it be Banjo-Kazooie continuation, whether it be Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time continuation, or even Fortnite. Don't even matter. Anybody who follows this stream, drop a comment about Followers' Choice Saturday, and I will eventually create a poll. And then it'll eventually come down to which game I will be streaming that day. Well, with that said, let me get that out of the way. Create a poll, and then it'll eventually come down to which game I will be streaming that day. Well, with that said, let me get that out of the way. Create a poll, and then it'll.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely. Okay.
Anyways, let's get this drink out of here. Yeah, if you got a cap to your bottle or a pin on your can, go ahead and pull that pin or twist that cap off. Hey, Cannonball, what time is it?
It's time to get bombed.
Damn right.
Cheers.
Cheers, Mike.
Ooh, man, that hits a spot. Okay. Well, I'm tired of waiting. Live scene. So all right. Yeah, I mean, if we both talk at the same time, I mean, only the active mic is going to be heard. But I mean, the other guy will be faint. But he's sitting right next to me, so if push comes to shove, we could probably just share one mic. I didn't think about that. Because we did it last time, and I think that worked out great. But anyway, well, let's keep going. So, all right, let's get in here. So yeah, now we are going to. Okay, so if you were, when last we were left our gallant heroes, kids, we were going to go back into the Hall of Justice. We've done all of the investigating that we possibly can. We don't really have any new leads. The only thing that's really gonna crack this thing open is the divination seance from Princess Rafa. Isn't that right, Pat?
Yeah, that's right. Princess Rafa has yet to find the purpose of the divination seance. It's like, could it be that Maya Fey has greater spiritual powers than her? Is that even possible?
Well, if you go back in time, I mean, realize that Maya Fey, has always had, Maya Fey has always been able to communicate with the dead. I mean, she channels her sister's spirit constantly throughout the series. So we all know she does. But I think
if you're listening to the game audio, how does that sound? Does it sound wonky or does it sound perfect? I turn that thing up a little bit, the voice meter input, just a hair. There we go. That might work.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it sounds good on their side. I mean, it just might sound a little wonky. Perfect. Yay! I love it when stuff works. So let us go. Let us conclude the rite of bout.
Lock 'em and load 'em, ladies. It's go time. Try to bring up that other voice monitor here.
This guy?
No, I mean the other window. Yeah. Back to settings. May the 12th, 9:34 a.m. This High Court of Khura'in. Accused lobby.
Maya looks exhausted, but I can't blame her.
I was thinking about it all day yesterday. I never properly asked you to defend me, did I?
It doesn't matter. I'm on this case till the bitter end.
I know. That's why I wanted to officially ask you for your help.
You got it, Maya. Let's do this. We gotta wrap this up and get back home so you can make your dream show come true. The Steel Samurai versus the Plumed Punisher, right?
You bet.
You look as if you did not sleep last night, Badhead. It is written all over your face. How can you expect to put up a respectable defense like that?
I'm all fired up and raring to go. I guess Maya's not the only one looking exhausted. Rafa doesn't seem to be in the best spirits herself.
Go ahead. Feign confidence now while you are still able. For I will see to it that your last rites are read to you this day.
Ugh, talk about a personality. Huh. Guess it was just my imagination.
Ready, Nick?
Okay, Maya, let's head on in. All right, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, folks.
Time to bring it to an end. May the 12th, High Court of Khura'in. Doors. Working session, day 2.
All rise. Now then, if everyone is ready. The defense is ready, Your Majesty.
The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay.
Oh, no prayers this time, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi.
I already offered my prayers for the latest victim during my visit to the crime scene. Being that the accused has already been found guilty of the first murder, let us hasten this trial so we may put this dead lawyer walking out of his misery.
I could not agree more. In yesterday's trial, the accused was already found guilty of murdering the high priest. And today she will be tried for the murder of his disciple, Puhray Zeh'lot. Now then, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, your opening statement, if you would.
Certainly. The accused has now slain two of the most devout clergymen in Khurainism. Even the lowest level of hell, the hell of tickling, would not be punishment enough.
Then, what terrible fate awaits her?
Belegipokon Hell, a realm of eternal agony.
I don't even know what that means.
There, she will suffer the endless punishment of Jagar by the Galoon of Plumoten.
Huh? What? Man, that just sounds like word salad at this point.
Furthermore,
Enough! Enough! Oh, my blood runs cold at the mere thought that such a terrible place exists. I was going to ask for a translation, but on second thought, ignorance is bliss. Now then, please continue, minus the part about the terrible hell awaiting the accused.
as you wish. The victim of this heinous crime was a high priest disciple, Puhray Zeh'lot. He had been training under the high priest while living at the priest's home.
I had met him a number of times, and he seemed like an earnest young man. How tragic that he met such a terrible end.
Hold on, what happens if you mute that other monitor, that center monitor?
Mute this guy?
No, hold on. Never mind. The murder occurred at the Plaza of Devotion during a purification rite. It was a bold crime carried out while the plaza was full of the faithful deep in prayer.
I'm gonna try it.
One moment, please. That's sounding better. Yeah. Much better, yeah. That way we won't even have to... people in the chat, can you still hear the game music? It was a bold crime carried out while the plaza was full of the faithful deep in prayer. The war-bag dagger was found impaled in the victim's upper back. The stabbing caused a spinal cord injury that killed him instantly.
I can see that, there's still stuff moving around here, so it makes me think that the music is still audible. The war-bag dagger, Lady Kira's weapon of choice.
We have already established that the accused prints were on the weapon. Incredibly damning evidence in itself.
No, I didn't do it.
Objection. Hold your tongue.
Yes, we can hear the music. Yay!
can you hear our mics? Now, being that the accused, Maya Fey, is a serial killer, the prosecution believes that the death penalty is the only possible sentence.
Would the defense care to respond? The accused is innocent, and nothing can convince me otherwise. Yes, we can hear the mics. Yay, I love it when stuff works. After all, the crime scene was packed with worshippers. How could my client possibly have committed this murder without a single witness?
The accused's fingerprints on the murder weapon alone is enough to render a verdict. As such, I see no need to debate this any further.
But... Well, once her benevolence conducts her seance, it will be clear for all to see.
Your Majesty, might I have a word?
Is something the matter, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi?
It is about the divination seance.
That's enough!
Your benevolence.
Right, stop right there, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi.
As you wish. Forgive me for overstepping my bounds.
What was that all about?
Badhead, have you made peace with your fate? For this time, the divination seance will bring you to your knees.
I'm ready, and I accept your challenge. Only problem is, I have no weapons at my disposal. Our only hope now is what we can glean from the seance vision and Rafa's insights. Very well. The divination seance, if you please, your benevolence.
Yes, let us begin. Naina?
I think she will take it from here. Let us pray.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
That is the third time this series.
And I'm sure there will be many more. All right, time to boogie.
I'm ready.
I don't think this gets old, especially since you don't get to see it too many times.
I think I have an idea. You know that third monitor on the right? Mute that, see what happens.
Mute the actual monitor?
You mute the monitor, but see if they can hear see if they can still hear the sounds.
No sound comes from that monitor, so I don't understand it.
Oh, never mind. Forget I said that.
It's all good. Up tempo. Hup, 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 hup.
Allegro.
Staccato. Cannoli. Oh, wait, that's the wrong word.
Oh, boy.
Now I'm just grasping at straws. All right, here we go. The moment of truth. Poof. And we shall see the truth.
Yes, indeed, Rudy.
All right, I'll just let you you have the mic. I'll sound faint for now.
Okay, fine. What? What?
What do we got?
What the hell?
Nothing.
Uh-oh.
Not a goddamn thing. I don't get it. Why wasn't there anything to see? Your benevolence. What in the world?
I was unable to provoke any sort of response. I called out the spirit's name many times, but to no avail.
Maybe you just don't want to talk.
Just as I thought.
Wait, what does he know that we don't?
I had sought to confirm the contents of today's divination seance. After all, it is customary for the prosecutor to verify it beforehand.
Come to think of it.
I must go perform a divination seance for Puhray Zeh'lot. It is our custom for the prosecution to review its contents before a trial begins.
And that is why I sought to stop her benevolence from performing it here. However, she insisted that it be done. She wished to try one more time here in the Hall of Justice.
It would appear her benevolence is tired from her manifold duties.
I am not anything of the sort. The victim spirit will not answer my call, but I know not why. It is my sacred duty to convey the truth through the divination seance.
Rafa, what are we to do without a divination seance?
I suppose I shall have to deliver the last rites without them. The prosecution has already taken that into account when preparing for today. I am fully capable of proving the accused's guilt with or without a divination seance.
You never fail to impress Prosecutor Sahdmadhi. This is bad. Divination seance was my one and only hope. Your Majesty, her benevolence said she isn't tired. So shouldn't we try to find out why the divination seance failed? How curious, Mr. Wright. Why have you suddenly taken such a keen interest in the divination seance?
Yes, explain yourself. The divination seance is for shedding light on an accused's crimes. It is the Holy Mother's hammer of wrath that is ever poised to pound you into your grave. You should fear it, not plead for it.
I believe in my client. Plus, yesterday, somebody told me something that changed my mind. The divination seance was once thought of as just another piece of evidence. If we were to correctly interpret the visions through careful analysis, then they would lead us to the truth behind what really happened. And the truth will show that my client, Maya Fey, is innocent.
The truth is, you don't have anything else to fall back on, huh, Nick?
Maya, please, you're not helping.
How dare you! The voice of a Mitama is to be feared, not utilized by vile lawyers such as you.
Seances exact a heavy toll upon the royal priestess. It would be best not to burden her any further. Or doesn't defense feel that it can pose no counterarguments without the seance?
No, of course not. He saw right through me. I'll have to find a way to make the divination seance happen, or we're toast. Well, Since the divination seance is not possible at this time, I see no other choice. Let us proceed with the trial without the seance, as Prosecutor Sahdmadhi suggested.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Why, you! I will not forget this, badhead. This will not be the last you see of me.
And out she goes.
Now then, I will now proceed by providing an outline of the case at hand.
Very well. If the lead detective would please come to the stand, we may begin.
Here comes Detective Sky.
Sorry, Mr. Wright.
Detective Sky, I understand how you would wish to save the accused and the defense. They are your friends, after all, but you must let them go and move on.
But...
There is only one way to save them now, by giving their souls the chance to burn away the taint of their sins in the infernal flames.
Oh, I can't do this.
Ah, no eating in the sacred hall of justice.
Miss Sky,
Yes?
don't worry about me and Nick. You just do your job. I'm sure Nick will figure something out, eventually.
Right. Thanks, Miss Fey.
How very brave for a criminal with a tainted soul. Very well, Detective Sky. Please proceed.
Okay, I can do this. Let me start with an overview of this case.
All right, time for a little witness testimony. Overview of the second murder.
The latest victim was Puhray Zeh'lot. He had been training under the High Priest and living at his house for the past 2 years. The High Priest's widow, Believe in Me, has identified the victim's body. He may have been mistaken for a rebel and killed due to his connection to the High Priest.
You want to know what I think? I don't think Puhray Zeh'lot is his real name. Okay, because here's my reasoning. If we go, where is it? Here, the priestess acting as Lady Kira's representative must know her name. That name is Imsan. Speaking this name is unforgivable. Lock this knowledge deep in your heart and devote yourself to prayer. So, because of this, I think the reason the divination seance isn't working is because that's not the dude's real name.
Right.
Keep that in mind. I see. Well, that certainly makes sense. Would the defense care to respond? I didn't spot any inconsistencies in her testimony so far, and I don't have any evidence in my arsenal. What am I going to do now? What is it, Maya?
I was just wondering about how much the police actually looked into Acolyte Zeh'lot, because it just might prove to be the key as to why the divination seance failed.
See, I think Maya picked up on it too. What are you getting at?
Well, it's just a hunch.
Wait a second. During my investigation, Rafa told me about how the divination seance works. If I could figure out why it failed, maybe she could try it again. Okay, time to press them for some more information. And yeah, just ignore that window. Likely harasser, restricted. Thank you. Overview of the second murder.
We got a mod here. Anyways,
We're hiring. Just kidding.
here we go.
The latest victim was Puhray Zeh'lot.
Hold it! What kind of person was Acolyte Zeh'lot?
According to the neighbors and others who knew him, he was a deeply devout youth.
I too have heard his name mentioned as one who was a fervent practitioner. I suppose you might say he was the High Priest's star disciple.
Furthermore, he had been training under the High Priest and living at his house for the past 2 years.
Hold it! Hold it! 2 years? Are you sure about that?
We took statements from his neighbors and his fellow monks. They all corroborate our initial findings.
What about you, Maya?
Well, when I first came here, I saw Zeh'lot praying under the High Priest's instruction.
I see. So the results of the police investigation seem to check out.
The High Priest's widow, Believe in Me, has identified the victim's body.
Hold it! Was Mrs. Inme's positive ID the only way you verified the Was Mrs. Inme's positive ID the only way you verified the identity of the victim?
Huh? Well, no. We also checked the ID card he carried and the data in his family registry. But
what?
But what indeed?
his personal information didn't match any of the public records we cross-referenced.
Oh. Maybe that's why the divination seance failed.
I'm not sure what you mean, Mr. Wright.
Here's what I'm thinking. I was right. The victim decided to hide his identity for some reason. In other words, he was using a fake name. The royal priestess uses the deceased's face and true name to summon their spirit.
Why, yes, that is indeed true.
If he was using him in our public records, then he was likely an illegal immigrant. They are not uncommon here in Khurain.
An illegal immigrant? Come to think of it, Rafa mentioned something about immigrants yesterday.
But if that's the case, we have no way of knowing who he really is. We'll have to proceed without holding a divination seance this time.
I had always thought that Acolyte Zeh'lot was Khurainese. Oh, how the High Priest must be lamenting his disciples' deception in the Twilight Realm. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think? Should we add this to the testimony? Always, every time. This is an important fact. Please add it to the testimony. Would seem to be a fact most inconvenient for the defense. But if you insist, Detective Sky, please add what you just said to your testimony.
Yes, Your Majesty. He was an illegal immigrant, so we don't know his real name.
Oh, but I got an idea. And this is gonna rock the foundation. I think it's this piece of evidence, but what does story mode tell us? Nope. Oh. Namada flouter. Warbad. Zealots. Oh, touch. Oh, it's a peach on his neck. Objection! Sorry, Detective Sky, but the police missed something important in their investigation.
Huh? What are you talking about?
The victim was undeniably a Khurainese native. And this crime scene photo proves it. It does? Oh, okay, I see why there's a contradiction. It's a little hard to see, but look closely. You'll see clear proof that the victim was Khurainese.
But where? I don't see anything that would prove that.
This proves that the victim was Kurainis. All together, everybody. Take that! Look at this tattoo right here. Why, that's a tattoo of a peach? I would like you all to think about the meaning of this tattoo.
Oh, the victim really liked peaches?
Nice try, Emma. Well, peaches are a favorite delicacy here in Khura'in.
They happen to be a personal favorite of mine. The sweetness of their abundant nectars and the softness of their perfectly ripe flesh. They are a blessing from the Holy Mother herself. Nick, I've suddenly got a craving for peaches.
After the trial, Maya, right now we have bigger fish to fry. Huh. Unfortunately, that is not a tattoo of a peach.
It is not a peach, you say? Then what is it?
Take a closer look. Haven't you seen something like that before? Namely, the tattoo on the high priest's brow. Oh my!
What?
This mark is only borne by members of the Khurainist clergy.
Objection. So that is what you believe it to be. But are they not utterly different shapes?
Sure, they're shaped differently, but there's a reason for that. The victim had the peach-shaped tattoo inked over an existing tattoo for some reason. However, the dark red portion is exactly the same as the mark all Khurainist clergy bear. We take another look at that shit.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. That little gimmick right there. The dark outline. You see, they just colored inside the lines. That's not very intuitive.
Hey, you're right.
Until about 20-some-odd years ago, everyone did get one, didn't they? I myself bear one on my right buttock.
That is entirely too much information, Your Majesty.
Tiamat, brother. Information on everyone who enters the clergy is maintained at the temple. All we have to do is look up a monk with a mark in the same spot.
I'm on it. I'll let you know if I get any hits.
That will not be necessary if you seek information on the clergy. I have it all right here.
Oh my, you never cease to amaze. So, tell us, is there anyone who fits the bill?
There is just one, and his name is Real Nemu.
What the heck is that supposed to be?
He became a monk 20 years ago.
Then that must be the victim's real name. But why would he have tried to cover up his tattoo with another one? Yeah, there must have been some reason.
Nick, that's not important right now. The important thing is we know his real name.
You're right. Huh. Your Majesty, now that we know the victim's real name, the divination seance might finally work. A lawyer who willingly seeks a seance. This is entirely unprecedented.
You are but digging your own grave, defense.
We won't know that until we try. Sure, it's risky, but it's our only hope. Very well. Let the divination seance be held once more. Run it back, y'all.
Why would a lawyer work so hard to see the divination seance be held once more? You are a fool, Badhead, and your foolishness shall yield no gratitude from me. For with the truth revealed by my insights, I shall gladly seek your demise.
Bring it on, princess. Because I will correctly interpret each and every one of your insights.
You will regret ever thinking you could use my sacred insights as evidence.
All right, one more time.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name.
4th time today.
Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
All right, let's see if it works this time.
I want to bet he's nowhere near the divination plaza. How much you want to bet he was nowhere near the divine plaza or whatever that's called when he was killed?
Yeah, the Plaza of Devotion.
Oh, I got $10 on it.
Hell with that. I'm going 20.
Okay, you're on, package. I kind of find it ironic that she doesn't have closed-toed shoes.
Right. While this is going on, folks, I'm off on Tuesday, so I might, emphasis on might, continue another stream from previous ones, like Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah, you have next Tuesday off?
I got this coming Tuesday off.
What? Is that a federal holiday or something? Or just a day by day?
Nope, that's a day by day.
Roger that, package. All right, here we go. And scene.
Do beg your pardon. All right, let's see if it works that time.
Ooh, I got a good feeling about this.
Me too. There we go. There's Gingle, Plume Punisher theme.
What the hell?
Heavy. Oh, something's heavy. Something's like. Now there's pain. That's probably the moment of the stabbing.
So what the heck is the Plume Punisher theme doing in the background? You know who had... Oh. I think, Andrew, you remember my original theory from a couple episodes ago? Yeah. Well, we got to prove it, but... Oh, my. It is just as Mr. Wright surmised. Puhray Zeh'lot wasn't the victim's true name. And now at last, we have seen the victim's final moments. But all we could see was the ground.
You seem terribly disappointed.
You're telling me I owe package $20.
Yep.
I take it you did not find any fodder for one of your infamous turnabouts. I, on the other hand, have discovered something. Conclusive evidence that establishes the accused's guilt.
You did? Ha 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 ha! A most surprising surprise attack. So, tell us, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, what is this conclusive evidence you have found?
The Plumed Punisher theme song that the deceased heard. Please consider this item here. It was confiscated from the accused during her interrogation.
Hey, that's my Plume Punisher strap.
When you press the Magatama on the plumed Punisher's belt,
Yeah. Let's get it in there. Hey. Ah!
it seems the accused inadvertently pressed the button in the midst of her crime. This strap is an extremely rare item, is it not, Miss Fey?
Uh-oh.
You'd better not break it. There's only one of those in the whole wide world.
Maya, no!
It is just as I said. Your flights of fancy have come crashing down on you.
She sure seems to be enjoying this.
Yeah, I've never seen her look so thrilled before either.
It is time to accept the fact that the divination seance is far more than mere evidence. It is the very truth that brings the hammer of justice down upon the accused.
That is as conclusive as evidence we can get. Now then, if there are no further objections... Objection! Slow down there, your majesty. At least let me make a counter-argument. What's this? Do you take issue with the divination seance? Oh, I have issues with it. I just don't know what they are yet. But that's never stopped me before. The divination seance is not the absolute truth. It only becomes the truth after it's been interpreted correctly.
You do not know when you are beaten, do you, you foolish lawyer? I am the only one who speaks for the Mitama of the deceased. If you believe there to be errors in my insights, then let us see you prove it.
All right. You're the lady. You know what?
Yeah,
Remember that alarm clock in the hideout?
I do remember that, yes. Oh, he wasn't on the ground in the divination plaza after all. Hang on, we gotta prove it.
The victim was offering up his prayers. It was the night of the rite. Though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. Then someone was there, and the theme to the plumed Punisher filled the air. The accused held the defenseless victim down and plunged her knife into his neck. The blade struck true, and in that instant, he departed from this world. That is everything the deceased experienced in his final moments.
Her benevolence insights have painted a detailed picture, both vivid and true.
I didn't notice any holes there. As they stand now, those insights are really stacked against us. We'll just have to go over each and every one of the deceased sensations very carefully.
You'll have to see what story mode tells you. So it's going up to night of the rite, though it's dark.
Objection!
Objection!
So apparently it's no Gingo was there.
Was it really the night of the rite?
What do you mean? It could not be otherwise. The accused slew Acolyte Zeh'lot after killing the high priest during the purification rite.
The only problem is the deceased's spirit does not corroborate that.
What's this?
Take a good look at what the victim smelled. Do you see how it says Gingil? Acolyte Zeh'lot shouldn't have smelled any Gingil on the night of the rite. What do you mean? Let me back up my statement with some evidence for you. This should explain how the victim couldn't have smelled Gingil on the night of the rite.
What about the photo here?
Yeah, because, there was a luminol reaction near the entrance.
Well, where was the Gingo originally from?
You know,
Left.
Oh,
No, wait, that's not father. Gingill.
oh, that's right, because he was eating.
Take that.
Take that.
Wrong one.
To be frank, your assertion stinks, Defense. Does it smell that bad? Indeed, I nearly passed out from the stench. I didn't know my bluff had such a pungent aroma. It would seem that the smell of gingill is unrelated to the case at hand. No, the fact that the victim smelled gingill is extremely important. It's important because the smell shouldn't have been present on the night of the rite. This should explain how the victim couldn't have smelled gingill on the night of the rite.
Would it be the statement?
Wrong piece of evidence. The high priest's wife, believe in me, told me about the Feast of Blessings. And if we take a look at that statement, it says, and I quote, "The family photo was taken during the Feast of Blessings, where it is customary to partake in dishes made with gingill. These dishes are only prepared during the feast, which starts at noon on the day before the rite and must be finished by 3 p.m. the same day." So I was close. There was a picture evidence of it. This is the documentation. Oh, geez. Okay, I had the right idea. The feast includes a number of gingill-based dishes, and they're only supposed to be served at a certain time the day before the rite. Why, I believe you're right. I had completely forgotten about that. Huh. During the feast, the unique smell of gingill pervades the entire kingdom. How do my mics sound, by the way? I mean, has anything changed? Or is everything okay? The fact that the victim smelled it means he was murdered between noon and 3 p.m. the day before the purification rite.
That's enough! Huh. I am not so easily fooled. Did that autopsy report not make it clear?
What does that say? Time of death, May the 10th, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Cause of death, spinal cord injury from a stab wound to his back. The weapon is thought to be the war bat dagger, the same weapon used to kill the high priest.
So if he died between 4 and 5 a.m. on May 10th, okay. Hang on a second. No, let's keep going.
The estimated time of death was during the rite.
Oh, right. I taught her about that yesterday. Forgive me, Your Benevolence, but the estimated time of death is just that, an estimate. Depending on the circumstances, it's possible for it to change.
What's this?
Like if a body was kept cold, the slowed rate of decay makes the death seem more recent. Why, I believe I have heard something of the sort before. If it is as Mr. Wright claims, the estimated time of death in the autopsy report will have to be revised. Zeh'lot's autopsy report updated in the court record.
Cause of death is a spinal injury from being stabbed. Cause of death is a spinal cord injury from being stabbed in the upper back by a bladed weapon.
Yeah! Bobhead! You blinded me with science!
Sorry. Wait, what am I apologizing for?
No matter. The murder may have occurred in the afternoon hours the day before the rite. Nevertheless, the murder weapon with the accused's prints on it is incontrovertible evidence. I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth.
Insight revised. Ah, stupid spider.
But he was an idiot. But he was an itty bitty guy. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite, though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. The blade struck true in an identity versus the world.
The time of death has been corrected, leaving my insight infallible.
Nick! Changing the time of death is bound to cause some sort of an inconsistency. If I had something that showed what it was like on that day, it could really help. Can we get a weather report on the 9th? Look at this.
No, let's keep going.
The thick white ice that froze the ground from the inner sanctum to the Plaza of Devotion until yesterday has melted. The Wright can now go on as planned.
Let's see what the story says if you're not sure.
All right, I'm always doing story mode with this.
After the day before the Wright.
Objection!
What is up with the site?
Objection. The change in the date and time of the crime has caused a new inconsistency to surface. Can we just take a look at something? You want to look? Okay. You want to know take a look at what the ground looks like, huh? You want to know what he was looking? He wasn't kneeling when he died. He was standing. Look at those handprints. Shite. Oh boy, package, you're gonna have to pay up. See, that's why the handprints didn't come back that we can verify. They had the wrong guy. Because I had the wrong guy on it.
Well, looks like you're right, but we're gonna have to prove that.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
What's this? Ugh! You are making that irritating face again. Cease that at once.
Sorry, but this is the face I was born with. And then I got another one. Or
Same one. I think it's going for good now.
it better be. Sorry, but this is the face I was born with. Now let's focus on what's important. What the victim saw in his final moments.
Do you have bats in the belfry, Bodhead? There is nothing to see. The ground at the plaza was all that entered the victim's eyes.
I don't think so, homeboy. Oh, girl.
And that's what I find so strange. On the day before the Wright, it should have been impossible to see that pattern on the ground. Impossible, you say? Do explain. And also, okay. Yeah, so it looks like the same color, right? So you would think that's what he would see, but I don't think that's the same material. This piece of evidence shows why the plaza's ground was not visible that day. No, we're not quite there yet. Take that! This newspaper has an article that is tiny in size but huge in importance. It says that the ground was covered with thick white ice the day before the Wright.
What? But
The victim did not see so much as an ice cube on the ground. Exactly. And so we must ask, what was the victim looking at in his final moments?
if you have something to say, then say it.
The last thing the victim saw was not the ground at the Plaza of Devotion. This can only mean that he was killed elsewhere.
What?
What? What? What? Then where do you propose the victim was actually killed?
Yes, tell us where. Otherwise, your argument is worthless.
About that. Hadn't gotten to that part yet. Any ideas, Maya?
Let me think. Well, it's somewhere green and shaggy, right?
Not necessarily shaggy, my dear. Right, but where could that be?
What is it, Bothead? Giving up already?
Not at all. Now, where have I seen something green and shaggy? This shows where the victim was killed.
Take that!
Take that! The secret hideout the rebels were using.
The rebel hideout? There was no such place anywhere on the floor of that chamber.
Hey, sister, we got you covered by a mile. You're absolutely right. There is no place. On the floor, anyway.
Then what did the victim see in his final moments, if not the floor of the rebel hideout?
This is what the victim saw in his final moments.
Take that!
Take that! The shaggy green surface the victim saw was one of the moss-covered stone slabs. As you can see, there are two distinct hand-shaped impressions in the moss here. I believe the victim was killed while he stood there with his hands pressed against the slab.
Objection!
Objection. That does agree with the seance vision. However, one cannot definitely declare they are one and the same. I concur. There is no proof that a murder occurred in the rebel hideout.
Oh, yes, there is.
Indeed. What evidence do you have of this?
I've already shown you the evidence.
Well, what do you mean?
Please take a look at this second version of the photo I just showed you. You can see the results of the luminol test I performed in the rebel hideout. This is proof positive that someone had been bleeding in front of that stone slab.
Is this true?
This information has already been provided to the police.
Detective Sky, to whom does this blood belong?
Oh, we thought it was the high priest blood that flowed in from outside. So, we haven't tested it yet.
Then you must do so at once.
Yes, Your Majesty.
All right, here we go.
It appears the police have finished testing the blood. Detective Sky, your report, please.
Here we go.
The blood found in the rebel hideout belongs to Puhray Zeh'lot, just like the defense claims.
Detective Sky, do you realize what your blunder has done to me? When this trial concludes, I want to see you in my prayer chamber. There, I will deliver a joyous sermon onto you for 8 hours straight.
I'm really sorry, but please, anything but that.
Nick, maybe, just maybe, this is the chance we've been waiting for.
Yep, it would seem so. I hate to do this to Emma, but...
Go for it. It's full speed ahead.
The victim was killed in the rebel hideout the day before the purification rite. Then his body was moved to the Plaza of Devotion by someone we've yet to identify. So when we thought we saw Acolyte Zeh'lot praying during the rite, he was already dead. And that's not all. If he was killed at the inner sanctum, that would explain one more thing.
And that would be...
How the time of death was made to look later than it actually was, the proof of which was left behind at the sanctum. This points to how the time of death was made to appear later than it actually was.
Take that!
Take that!
Why, these are photos of the inner sanctum? Let me look at these.
Hang on, so here it is. So this is okay. Okay, the snow... He was buried under the snow! I'd like you to focus on this one. The proof is right here in this photo. This is how the time of death was made to appear later than it really was. Do you see how the snow has been removed from this one spot only? That's because it was used to keep the victim's body cold. And that's why the time of death wasn't what it seemed.
That's enough. The time was mistaken, and the place too? And just what do you believe that proves?
That my client is innocent.
What of the fingerprints on the dagger and the plumed Punisher theme the victim heard? You have failed to address these two key pieces of evidence.
Well, we already know how one of them got there. Well, we gotta figure out those fingerprints. I see your point.
Wasn't this your big chance, Nick?
I'm really hoping that the difference in location can invalidate either the weapon or the theme song from being used as evidence against you.
Actually, that might be possible, at least for one of them.
Really?
What's this? You say you can contradict our argument for a key piece of evidence? Very well. Let us see you try.
Nick, take a good look at the rebel hideout photo.
Oh! The defense can invalidate this piece of evidence, the plumed Punisher theme.
Yeah, see that?
Yep.
The plumed Punisher theme, and how do you intend to support such a claim?
Since the murder happened in the rebel hideout, there's something there that played the theme song other than my client's strap.
It wasn't the strap? Is this true?
The item that played the plumed Punisher theme song was this. Here we go. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Take that! This is a plumed Punisher alarm clock. I believe the victim heard its alarm go off.
That's enough! What proof do you have that the alarm went off?
All right, well, let's take a look. Is that in the evidence? No, but let's just keep going.
Objection!
Objection! What proof do you have that it was my client's strap that played the theme song?
Not twist the facts with your lawyerly wiles. Either way, the accused would still be guilty based off the prints on the murder weapon. And here is what really happened.
Oh boy. We're not quite out of the woods yet, kids. Victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. It was the afternoon on the day before the Wright, and that's it.
Though there have been some twists and turns, that is the truth of what happened.
Won't get anywhere until I can eliminate the dagger.
Most impressive, your benevolence. I see no inconsistencies anywhere in the prosecution's case.
No, there is one.
What's this? You still claim there to be an inconsistency.
Try as you might, the outcome will always be the same.
All right, let's get story mode on the case.
Let's see. Victim stood with his hands on a stone slab in a hideout.
The touch. Objection! Yeah, something was heavy. The victim was originally thought to have been stabbed while bent over in prayer, but he was actually standing with his hands against the stone slab. So the question is, where did the sensation of something heavy come from?
Yes, I see your point.
Since the victim was standing, he couldn't have been held down.
Then tell us, Mr. Wright, what was that heavy sensation felt by the victim?
What caused the heavy sensation Zealot felt? Any thoughts, Maya?
I agree that sense of heaviness seems important, but there's also a matter of Zealot's hands on the stone slab. Why were they even there?
Yeah, we got to get to the bottom of that. Could it be related to the cause of the heavy sensation?
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have an answer for us?
Remember, it was wobbling back and forth, right? What if he wasn't standing, but he was lying down? And that the stone slab was on top of him? He wasn't killed by being stabbed. Somebody pushed the stone slab and he banged his head on the back of the rock. That's what happened. That is precisely what happened. Of course. If I just envision the state Zealot was in when he was killed, the cause of the heaviness the victim felt was the falling stone slab. Gotcha. The only conceivable cause is the stone slab falling over, trapping the victim underneath. What?
Oh, the stone slab came falling down on him, crushing him underneath.
Right. That was the cause of the heavy sensation the victim felt.
Objection.
Objection. While your theory is impressive, you have overlooked a key fact. The victim was not crushed to death, rather, he was stabbed.
Okay.
Well, let's take a look at his autopsy report again. It says here, time of death, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. based on divination seance. Caused a spinal cord injury from a stab wound to his back. Well, what else? Well, if we take a look at another piece of evidence, what else could cause a spinal cord injury? The back of your neck getting jacked on that slab there, on that stone slab on the bottom right. So, and he could have easily been killed. So, it still doesn't explain Maya's prints on the dagger. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh yeah.
Or do you claim that the dagger was plunged in after the slab had fallen on him?
Guys in the chat, are you hearing echoes or no?
Plus, had the killer been behind the victim, they would have both been crushed together.
That is a solid point.
Well, would you care to explain?
Sure, I'd love to. That doesn't mean I can. How could the dagger have been plunged in after the slab fell on the victim? The killer couldn't have plunged the dagger into the victim after the slab fell on him. But what if the murder weapon wasn't what we thought it was?
Well, there were other weapons in the rebel hideout. But the entrance to the hideout is right by the stone slab. There isn't enough space between the two to use any of the weapons found within.
No echoes here. Good thinking, Alex.
Yay! Yeah, there's not much space by the entrance, is there? So what was the real murder weapon then? I better think of something.
If the murder weapon wasn't the dagger, then the dagger must have been plunged into the victim after he was already dead. That means he was stabbed at least twice, but the autopsy doesn't mention that.
And he must have been stabbed in the same spot with something shaped like the dagger.
Would the defense care to offer an explanation sometime this century?
Why didn't we bother testing the alarm clock? Because the alarm clock could have easily killed him. Because I mean that sound was right there, but maybe not. Anyway, wait, wasn't there something dagger-like near the scene of the crime? Something that had a shape similar to the Warbad dagger? Uh-oh. Yep, it was, yep, he hit it, so he got schmucked on one of those spikes on the Warbad statue. He was knocked backwards. Oh, that's pretty nasty indeed. Present your evidence at this time, Mr. Wright. This shows what really killed the victim. Take that! Yep, I was right. Is this not the photo from the scene of the High Priest's murder? Are you suggesting that the murder weapon is hidden herein? This is what really took Puhray Zeh'lot's life.
Take
Take that! But that is the...
The Warbad statue?
Exactly. The Warbad statue has dagger-like feathers protruding from it. That is what really took the victim's life.
Objection.
Objection. Ugh. You imbecilic fool. The statue is outside of the hideout. How do you propose to impale someone who was inside?
Haven't you heard? The Warbad statue also functions as the hideout's door.
What do you mean?
The statue can pull a complete switcheroo.
A switcheroo?
To put it simply, it's a revolving door. A revolving door? Why, that makes perfect sense. Huh. Therefore, I believe the truth behind the divination seance to be this. As the victim entered the secret hideout, the stone sculpture came toppling toward him. He threw up his hands to stop it, but its weight forced him backwards. Unfortunately, the Warbad statue was right behind him.
This cannot be!
What on earth? How could this be?
That's enough! But the accused's fingerprints were found on the dagger!
She had held it while rehearsing for the rite, which is when her prints got on it. Gah. This is a shocking turn of events, but there was a great deal of circumstantial evidence in the defense's favor. I believe we must accept that the Warbad statue was what killed the victim. Warbad statue added to the court record.
Its sharp protruding feathers took Puhray Zeh'lot's life. It's also a revolving door.
But we haven't gotten to the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. Who killed the high priest? Now that we know how Acolyte Zeh'lot really met his demise, there's no basis for claiming my client committed this crime. Nice work, Nick.
How can this be happening yet again? The divination seance is the only truth.
Know your benevolence. It's not the truth itself, but it is a means for shedding light on the truth.
That is a lot.
Okay, hang on a second. Josh Dickerson has entered the chat. I don't know how long ago he did, but it says here, that's a lot of stabbing.
Ooh, that silky smooth bassy voice got me feeling something.
Oh yeah. Welcome to the chat, brother. I love you. Do you understand now? Your kingdom needs lawyers so they can interpret your insights.
But that means I have been misinterpreting the voices of the spirits all this time.
Your benevolence. Are you unwell?
Me too, Josh.
All the color has drained from your face.
I will be fine. Continue your proceedings without me.
As you wish. Well, there she goes. I feel kind of bad for her. Now then, I would have the defense continue. Please explain what you have learned now that we know how the victim actually died. Acolyte Zeh'lot was killed in the hideout before the high priest's murder. Acolyte Zeh'lot did it. And he tried to get away in the hideout, and the statue tackled on him, and he killed him, and he ended up offing himself.
He committed suicide.
Well, it was an accident. Oh, anyway, let's keep going. That means the body found at the Plaza of Devotion was moved there by the real killer. Oh, right. We got somebody moved the body. So, but only after the Warbad dagger was thrust into him to make it look like the murder weapon. Oh, that does seem to agree with what we know now. But why would the real killer go to such lengths? I believe stabbing Acolyte Zeh'lot's body with that dagger and moving it to the plaza was to make it look like a serial murder, I have to think. It was an attempt to make my client look like a serial killer. Yeah, now we're getting to the heart of the fact, is that, not only is she innocent of this crime, but she's innocent of the other crime. Huh. That's right. The real killer planned all of this. This forged serial murder case. They did?
That's it, Nick. That's it, Nick. Keep hammering away.
Satura!
Oh, wait a minute. No. I said chicken, not rice.
Yeah, and I didn't ask for guacamole either.
Your reasoning has more holes in it than that cheese you foreigners so enjoy.
What?
Like those putrid hole-riddled clumps of curds that only a rat like you could love. Your reasoning, much like your putrid hole-riddled brain, has purified.
He really loves that word, doesn't he? What's his deal with things going putrid? And do you really think that might be because of what turned prosecutor Sahdmadhi into a prosecutor? I sense that there's a trigger there.
You have yet to overturn my argument that the accused is the killer. A careful analysis of the chain of events up to the killing exposes its truth as follows. Disguised as Lady Kira, the accused found the rebel hideout the day before the Wright. But Acolyte Zeh'lot had followed her there after noticing her suspicious behavior. Caught by surprise, she pushed the stone slab toward him, and we know the rest.
I've never been to the rebel hideout in my life.
When the high priest arrived at the sanctum the next day, he realized what she had done. That is when the accused murdered him in order to silence him.
I believe Prosecutor Sahdmadhi has posed a compelling scenario. The defense, on the other hand, has yet to disprove the accused's guilt. Objection! Why would my client move Acolyte Zeh'lot's body to where everyone could see it? And why would she stab the dagger with her fingerprints into his dead body? She had no reason to do any of those things.
The dagger in his corpse was likely a warning to the rebels. Something along the lines of Lady Kira will slay the defiant dragons.
So that is why she moved the body to the plaza for all to see. Now he has the judge convinced too? I thought I'd finally made some headway. Well, Mr. Wright, about time for one of your groans of distress, is it not? Groan of distress? Kills me to admit this, but I've got nothing to counter his argument with. And I still haven't disproven the allegations against Maya. Is it not time to end your futile struggle? You were already judged guilty yesterday. That makes you a dead lawyer walking. Accept the death that now awaits you, and in doing so, finally know peace.
A dead lawyer walking indeed. Then again, are not all lawyers who practice in Qurine?
Not this. In the name of evidence, those who support criminals, in the name of her eminence, those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty.
Demonstrate the strength of Dhurke's convictions. Mm-hmm.
But I must admit, I misspoke earlier. Allow me to amend my statement. I had said the defense's reasoning had a putrid cheese-like smell, but I now realize the stench was from his own putrid body on the verge of death.
Now I'm a rotting zombie. Think, who could have killed Zeh'lot the day before the Wright? Who knew about the rebel hideout and could gain access to the inner sanctum?
Well, think about the rock that got stolen in the first case.
Only those involved with the Wright can enter the sanctum, so...
Wait a second.
Only a rebel would have known about the secret hideout. And the only person who was involved with the Wright had access to the sanctum. And was suspected of being a rebel is...
Ah!
Did somebody come to mind?
Now it's about to come full circle, Jack. I was right. Gotta prove it. Yes, except there's one huge problem.
A huge problem?
What are you two going on about? Plotting your escape from this sacred hall? I would not put it past you, considering you have no means to raise further objection.
If I don't do something, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi will have this one in the bag. I'll just have to bluff my way out of this, regardless of that huge problem.
Huh. Your Majesty, I believe there is another suspect in Puhray Zeh'lot's murder.
Objection.
Objection! Even the most benevolent Holy Mother would not forgive such a desperate lie. After all, you know very well that such a person does not exist.
No, there is one person who knew everything. But does such a figure truly exist? Tell us, who might that be? And I've got two ideas. One is Datz Are'Bal, who he would know where the rebel hideout is. And number two, the High Priest's wife.
I don't know.
I believe the prime suspect in Acolyte Zeh'lot's murder is...
Take that!
Take that!
Him?
It had to be someone allowed to enter the sanctum and who knew of the hideout. And that would be the High Priest. He could have committed the crime if it occurred the day before the Wright.
Sattler! You would pin a crime upon the dead, knowing very well they tell no tales. Have you no shame?
Dead men tell no tales. That is definitely a problem. If only the High Priest could tell his side of the story.
Oh boy.
Pondering what I'm pondering.
Okay, I didn't see this coming, but... I mean, we all know the High Priest was a rebel, or at least that's what the story keeps telling us.
But how do you... What? Do we have something on my face?
Wait a second.
Could this actually work?
Oh no! Don't tell me I have some of my breakfast caught between my teeth.
No, if there's even the slightest possibility, I'll have to go with it.
Your Majesty, dead men do tell tales. Therefore, I would like to request the High Priest's testimony. Testimony? And just how do you propose we get the deceased to testify? There's a way for the dead to testify. It's known as channeling. Summon him here by means of spirit channeling. Oh, what did you just say?
Finally? Is this work finally going to...
This is sacrilege. May the Holy Mother strike him down. Peace. I am frankly astonished you even know of such a thing. But spirit channeling is a secret art that only Her Eminence Queen Garan can perform. And Her Eminence is far too busy with other duties to perform it at our pleasure.
I suspected as much. That means our only hope is...
It's okay, Nick. You can tell them.
But Maya, I thought you wanted to keep it a secret here in Khura'in.
Don't worry. It's not like it's against the law or violates some religious precepts, so I don't think we'll be punished. At least I hope not.
Have you ever considered the idea that you may be seen as a usurper? But this is a crucial period for you. It'll decide whether you'll become Master of Khura'in.
We don't have any other choice now, do we? If I'm found guilty, it'll be a lot worse than not becoming Master of Khura'in.
All right. Thanks, Maya. Actually, there is someone here who is capable of channeling spirits.
Sator. But even our benevolent Princess Raifa finds a divination seance to be a challenge. Who could possibly have greater spiritual power than she, aside from the Queen?
That would be me. What? Is this...
Is this some sort of a joke? Foreigner cannot possibly have such power.
Even the royal princess is incapable of such a feat.
Peace. Peace, I say. Is this true? Is the accused capable of performing the secret art of spirit channeling?
Well, yes. Yes, I can.
Now, Your Majesty, we'd like your permission to begin.
That's enough!
Your Benevolence.
It's an outrage! An outrage, I say! First, you make a mockery of the divination seance, and now spirit channeling?
That speaks the truth. Spirit channeling is a sacred right.
Foreign devils, I say they should be put to death immediately.
Still your voices. Bobhead, spirit channeling is a most sacred and secret of arts. Are you prepared to face the consequences of what you propose?
Yes, I am. Your Benevolence, are you saying you approve of their use of spirit channeling?
I will judge whether their claim is true. If this is but another of their lies, they shall be executed on the spot.
Very well, then. Your Benevolence, what if the accused accidentally calls forth an evil spirit?
Remember Dahlia Hawthorne?
Oh, yeah.
Do you truly believe this foreigner is capable of channeling spirits?
Oh, no, but I wanted to be sure, as I am responsible for the safety of all present.
Well, an inexperienced practitioner could inadvertently call forth a dangerous spirit. But do not fear, for I have a Magatama of parting. With it, I can send spirits back to the Twilight Realm by halting the flow of spiritual power.
Oh, that is a relief indeed.
These foreigners have thrown down the gauntlet. Let us not shirk from their challenge. We must prove them guilty and deliver their last rites. Do I make myself clear, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi?
Perfectly, Your Benevolence.
Very well. The accused may channel the High Priest's spirit. But first, we must take a short recess to prepare. We will resume as soon as the preparations are complete. Until then, this court is adjourned. Oh boy.
To be continued. So it's been an hour and 36 minutes. What do you say? You're the captain riding the ship. You want to finish this, or?
Okay.
Oh, look.
Hey, we have stuff back.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. So what do you think? Continue or?
You know what we always say. Da 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 da.
Charge! Okay, let's continue this shindig. We're going to finish this tonight. May the 12th, High Court of Khura'in. Accused lobby.
Sorry, Maya, but this was the only way. You sure you're up for this?
Thanks for believing in me, Nick. Even though I don't know if my channeling ability is on point yet.
Oh, right. Before she started training here, her success rate was only about 30%. I know you can do it, Maya. At least I hope she can. So you're sure you're ready?
Yeah, at least I think so.
You don't sound so confident. What about all your training?
Training's one thing, actually doing it is another.
Oh, I see. Uh-oh. If she fails to channel the High Priest, we're as good as dead.
Relax, Nick. You can count on me. I'll show you what my training's done for me. This will be a moment you never forget.
Okay. I just hope it's unforgettable in a good way.
Once we hear Ebonimi's story, I'm sure the truth will come to light.
I hope so, but he was hiding the fact that he was a rebel, so I doubt it'll be as cut and dried as all that. They are ready for you. Please return to the Hall of Justice at once. Okay, Maya. I'm counting on you.
You got it. Here we go.
Oh boy, here we go. May 12th, High Court of Khura'in. All rise. We have received official approval for the accused to channel a spirit here today. Now, if you will, Miss Fey, please proceed.
Yes, Your Majesty. I can't believe this. Only the Queen should channel.
Execute them. Put them to death right now. Come on, Maya. I'm counting on you.
I have been studying here in Khura'in for 2 years now, so that one day I will be the master of Khura'in, a village of spirit mediums back home. But first, I shall show you all the fruits of my training in your kingdom.
Wow, she seems really confident.
A neophyte practitioner such as you could not possibly channel a spirit. Okay, Your Benevolence. How about this? If I succeed, will you stop calling me a neophyte? Very well. If you succeed. Oh, I will. Just you watch. And here we go.
Sim sim zalabim.
O spirit of trust in me, slumbering in the flames, return now to the world of the living. Get ready, folks. I could take Tarust. Huh? What is this place? Oh my!
No! This cannot be!
Pokanka! It's the High Priest! The accused really can channel spirit!
I don't believe it. The accused's spiritual power is the real deal. Go, Maya.
I do not understand. This cannot be. This simply cannot be. I must step out now before I forget myself.
Yikes. Abbot in me.
Would this be the Twilight Realm? What of this luxurious mane of hair? Is it perhaps a gift from the Holy Mother for decades of faithful service?
Abbot in me?
My, but if it isn't His Majesty, have you too shuffled off that mortal coil?
Please do not count me among the dead. It is only you who has passed on. But the spirit medium Maya Fey has brought you back among us today.
Why? Acolyte Fey has mastered the secret art of spirit channeling? I suppose that explains these gorgeous locks.
When I pass from this world, I too hope to be channeled with a full head of hair.
Though it be for the briefest of moments. I give thanks for this splendid coiffure. Praise be to the Holy Mother. However, this kimono is a bit too snug for my tastes, if you would excuse me.
Uh-oh.
There, that is better.
You better, yeah, Maya better be aware of this when she comes back. Could we get to his testimony now? I wish he'd kept his top on.
Why, you are that foreign lawyer the people speak of as of late. And is this not the Hall of Justice? Why have I been summoned here?
Forgive us for calling you back from your eternal rest, but you have been accused of murder. Might we ask you to testify on your own behalf?
I have been accused of murder? That is troubling indeed.
Ha! What's with that crazy pose?
Is this really cause for such astonishment? Even the lowliest of monks can achieve such body control with the proper training.
Oh, I wonder if Albie will be able to do that someday. Will the defense please explain the situation to the High Priest? I'd be happy to. Your disciple, Puhray Zeh'lot, has been murdered. It happened on the day before the purification rite. And the crime occurred in the rebel hideout hidden within the inner sanctum.
Acolyte Zeh'lot, he has been killed. Who would do such a thing?
Someone who knew of the hideout and had access to the inner sanctum. In other words, you, Abbot in me. After all, weren't you secretly a rebel? Here we go, kids. Oh dear. That's still Maya's body. I hope he doesn't break anything.
Wow, High Priest is amazing.
To think he had mastered such an advanced prayer pose.
Even if he is a rebel, praise be to the Holy Mother. Praise be to the Holy Mother.
Oh my, have my rebel allegiances been exposed? Not even my wife knew of that. It seems to rest in peace is not my fate.
Oh shit, he admitted it. Why did you, a devout priest of Korinism, join the rebellion?
Objection!
Objection. The High Priest has come back to us for but a brief time, Defense. Shall we not cut to the chase and ask the most pressing of questions?
Oh, right.
Abbot and me, the prosecution believes the one who slew both you and Acolyte Zeh'lot to be Maya Fey, who had been playing the role of Lady Kira in the Wright. Being that I was dead until just a moment ago, my memory is a bit hazy. Could you please do your best to remember?
Objection!
Objection! The High Priest says his memory is hazy.
It is all coming back to me. It is as Prosecutor Sahdmadhi concluded. I was slain by none other than Maya Fey.
What?
The High Priest's statement has proven my assertions with regards to his murder correct.
No! But what about Acolyte Zeh'lot? You were the one who killed him, weren't you?
I know not about my disciple's murder. Furthermore, I have an alibi of my own.
An alibi? Seriously? It seems the testimony the defense had been hoping for is walking against him. Now, Abbot in me, your testimony, if you please.
Yes, of course.
Man, what the hell is going on here?
Well, I gave that voice my best. Witness testimony. I have an alibi.
I have an ironclad alibi for the time during which the murder took place. Just past noon on the day before the Wright, I was entertaining guests at my home.
Bum bum.
At least we're getting sound, right?
Yeah, okay, so we keep getting this error message that pops up, but we just relaunch voice mod and everything's fine, so more kinks to be worked out.
Just past noon on the day before the Wright, I was entertaining guests at my home. And I believe my guests can corroborate this.
You had guests? Just past noon. That's right about the time Zealot was murdered. Are you sure about that?
Think about the photo. Absolutely.
Yep, there she is. There they all are. Now, there's a watch here. There's an orb sitting on the back. So what's it doing there? Man, oh man, what's going on here? There's no clock.
Continue.
Eh. Oop. Come to think of it, Rafa told me about a spirit's memory.
A spirit's memory is cut off at the moment of death.
So even a spirit that is brought back after centuries doesn't sense any gap in time between the moment of its death and the moment it's channeled?
Yes, and yet it clearly recalls all of the memories it had in life.
The High Priest seems to know exactly what he's talking about. So the question is, what would be the best angle of attack?
Information time. I have an alibi.
I have an ironclad alibi for the time during which the murder took place.
Hold it!
Hold it! You use the word alibi as if it were second nature.
Are you perhaps mocking me? Or it is perhaps the kingdom of Khura'in itself you wish to ridicule?
Come on! Everyone in their grammar knows what alibi means.
We're not a bunch of country bumpkins here. We have plenty of courtroom dramas on TV.
Peace, 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 I say. Mr. White, would you care to clarify your last statement?
Please, don't take it the wrong way. It's just, alibi is a rather technical term for a priest to use so naturally.
I assure you, I knew how to use the term. In fact, I had even hoped for a chance to do so one day. I suppose that even I, a high priest, am not immune to such trivial worldly attachments.
Now, wait a minute. He was a rebel, right? And what's the main point of being a rebel? Being a lawyer. Huh? Oh, I see. Still, he seems unusually calm and composed. It's almost as if he had prepped himself for something like this.
Just past noon on the day before the rite, I was entertaining my guests at home.
Hold it!
Hold it. Guests? And you were entertaining them personally?
That I was. We gathered around the table for a most enjoyable conversation.
He said his guests could corroborate his alibi. That can't be good for our case. Are you sure that was the same day as the murder? Maybe you've misremembered.
Caw! Do not doubt my mnemonic faculties. I may have died, but my memories up to that point are crystal clear.
Sorry, he's pretty thin-skinned for a priest. Though I guess I should have known better than to doubt his memory.
A spirit's memory is cut off at the moment of death.
So even a spirit that is brought back after centuries doesn't sense any gap in time between the moment of its death and the moment it is channeled?
Yes, and yet it clearly recalls all of the memories it had in life.
There is nothing better than enjoying Gingo cuisine with dear friends. That way, everyone's breath becomes equally malodorous.
Right.
And I believe my guests can corroborate this.
Hold it!
Hold it! And who exactly were your guests that day? Don't tell me they were rebels, so they can't be called here to testify.
It was none other than His Majesty, along with his family.
Really?
He couldn't attend the rite due to work, so he stopped by ahead of time. My, how his daughter has grown.
Yep, I think we got something to counter that. Wait a second.
Let me set the record straight right now. I am not a rebel. Thank you for that wonderful meal, Abbot Inmi. Lady Inmi's cooking simply cannot be beat.
So there you have it.
When exactly was His Majesty at your home?
He was there from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Indeed, precisely the time period within which Acolyte Zeh'lot was slain.
Yes, and we had a rousing chat concerning the game of Catch Them All.
But Kachu Damal, get it? Pokemon?
I'll just have that added to the testimony. After all, it was I who visited the High Priest's home.
What's that? Fall there, brother.
My guest that day were His Majesty and his family. They visited from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Then how do you explain this? Uh-oh.
Hold it!
Hold it! Your Majesty, are you sure this testimony is completely accurate?
As sure can be. Oh, how wonderful it is to finally have my actions be admissible as evidence in court.
His Majesty was at my home during the exact time period of the murder. Come, let us put this behind us. I could not have possibly committed this crime.
How can you be so sure? What if the clock or watch you were using was off? Or you misread the time?
There was a clock right near the table, and it had the exact same time as my watch.
Let's take a look at it then. So, where's the clock? I don't see it. It's gotta be something with that clock. That watch.
Now do you understand, lawyer? As you can see, my alibi is airtight. Or do you still think I could have killed Acolyte Zeh'lot?
His Majesty's a witness?
Are you satisfied now? There is not a single discrepancy in Abbot Inme's alibi.
If I give up now, it's all over. Now hold on a second. Is there something, anything wrong with the High Priest's testimony? There is, there always is. There is a discrepancy in the High Priest's testimony.
There is? Well, then perhaps you could explain what it might be.
This is what was wrong with his testimony. The prayer feast was short. He knew the time of the crime. Too friendly with the judge. He knew the time of the crime. After Abbot Inme was channeled, no one ever stated what time Acolyte Zeh'lot was murdered.
Now that you mention it.
Despite that, you claim to have an alibi from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. That means you knew that Acolyte Zeh'lot was dead when you were still alive. Wait, I think I saw something just now. No, I must be imagining things. So tell me, how did you know what time the crime had been committed?
About that. Open your heart. Let the Holy Mother in.
Well, why? We've been blessed with the High Priest's sacred words of prayer.
All who serve her holiness must strive to banish worldly desires from their soul. Open your heart. Let the Holy Mother in. Purge your mind of greed and bias.
I feel as if my very soul has been cleansed.
You can't fool me. Prayer may banish worldly desires, but it can't make a contradiction disappear.
Sutta. How can you be so sure?
What's that supposed to mean?
This lawyer seems to think little of the power of Karina's prayer.
Huh?
No, I don't want the anchovies on my pizza.
And I told you to leave off the pickles, too. Who does that?
Abbot Inme was at home during the crime, but knew of what happened at the hideout. I believe this can be explained thusly.
He must have had a way to monitor the hideout from his home.
What?
You never cease to amaze, prosecutor. As he has surmised, there was a listening device installed at the hideout.
Oh, yes.
It enabled me to instantly learn of anything unusual, even when I was not there. Remember, the rebels had been using this as a top secret hideout. It would be perfectly natural for them to install such an apparatus.
Oh, damn, son. That was unexpected. Let's get back on the block, Jack.
Sorry about that, kids. So, while he's, Package decided to take a break, so... Oh, he didn't change the voice. Wait, come to think of it, when I was searching the rebel hideout... Wait, come to think of it, when I was searching the rebel hideout...
There's something under the banner. A microphone? What's this doing here? Was someone trying to record something with it? That was a listening device?
It starts recording whenever it detects movement, and I heard just such a recording after His Majesty and his family left. If you look into the desk in my study, you will find the tape in question.
All right then. Bailiff.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Go retrieve the tape in question from the High Priest's home.
At once, Your Majesty.
The power of Karina's prayer. Even a putrid brain such as yours should understand it now.
From the High Priest's home.
Oh shit.
At once, Your Majesty.
Alright, we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. So, go ahead.
Even a putrid brain such as yours should understand it now.
It's like the contradiction really did vanish.
We shall ascertain the content of the recording once we have the tape.
Even a putrid brain such as yours should understand it now.
It's like the contradiction really did vanish.
We shall ascertain the content. And confirmed. In the meantime, I would ask Abbot Inmi to continue with his testimony.
Very well.
All right, time for a little more witness testimony. I heard everything.
I was entertaining His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred. When I listened to the tape later, I heard a man and a woman quarreling. It sounded like an altercation between Acolyte Zeh'lot and Acolyte Fey. After that, there was a loud noise, followed by haunting silence.
Haunting silence indeed.
I have to find some way to attack his alibi. If only Maya were here. She has a way of putting me at ease. Seeing her like this is only creeping me out.
Though the high priest was a rebel, he was still a Quirinus holy man. Therefore, take care in your questioning, lest you invoke the ire of our people.
How dare he suspect the high priest? May the Holy Mother strike him.
As if this wasn't hard enough already.
Nice try, but I'll stop at nothing to find the truth. Oh, really? Well, now it's time for cross-examination.
All right, here we go. I heard everything.
I was entertaining His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred.
Hold it!
Hold it! You were entertaining His Majesty and his family during the crime?
Indeed, my wife Believe was treating them to our wonderful home cooking.
Your wife was there that day?
Why, yes, she was in the kitchen cooking up a storm the entire time.
Come to think of it, I don't think I saw her at all that day.
She takes her culinary duties most seriously, you see. That is why she was in the kitchen cooking without pause the entire day.
So the judge never saw Mrs. Inby. Should I have Abbott Inby add that statement to his testimony?
Have him add it, always. Please add that statement to your testimony.
As you wish. My wife Believe was in the kitchen cooking the entire time.
Wait, was she now? I don't think so, Jack. I think that we're gonna bring it. Hold it! What was your wife making that day?
The menu that day featured Hatton Space, and Melt and Mount. They are both traditional Quirinese dishes.
I can't even begin to
I can't even begin to imagine what those are.
Ah, yes. The exquisite zest of Hattin surprise and the supreme texture of melt and malt. Lady Inby's cooking that day was utterly unforgettable.
Thank you. It brings me great joy to know you enjoyed your meal. Now, once His Majesty and his family had left. When I listened to the tape later, I heard a man and a woman quarreling.
Hold it!
Hold it! You heard everything from a recording?
Indeed. Each night I would secretly check what the listening device had recorded. I would have been in serious trouble with my lovely wife had she discovered my secret.
Can you really tell what happened by the audio alone?
Long years of ascetic training have sharpened my hearing. It is but a simple matter for me to ascertain a situation by the sounds I hear.
Practicing Quirism
Practicing Quirism improves your hearing?
Hearing is but one of the senses it can improve. If one can focus and attain in a piece, all 5 senses can be sharpened. Why, the warbird over in the bazaar just cried. Did you not hear it?
Give me a break.
It sounded like an altercation between Acolyte Zeh'lot and Acolyte Fey. After that, there was a loud noise, followed by haunting silence.
Hold it!
Hold it! A loud noise? I'd say that's worth looking into.
It was a terrible crashing sound. Poor Acolyte Zeh'lot. It must have felt so heavy.
It must have been the sound of that stone slab falling over. Should I have him add that statement to his testimony?
Every single time. Please add that statement to your testimony.
As you wish. I would describe the noise as a terrible crash. Poor Zeh'lot, it must have felt so heavy.
Hold it!
Hold it. You believe that terrible crash is connected to Acolyte Zeh'lot's death?
Yes, the sound, no doubt, was poor Zeh'lot's death knell. Such a tragedy, for he was a fine disciple.
How much further are we going to grill this guy?
I would ask all here today to give a prayer for his departed soul. Zurizrai, Matami, Yoma.
Shushui Matami Yoma.
I had high hopes for that young man's future. Zushre Matami Yoma.
Why do I feel like such a jerk for just trying to do my job right now?
Mr. Wright, do you still feel the need to question the High Priest? His alibi is as tight can be.
Well, that's what she said.
This isn't going so well. I better ask him about something else.
I'm curious, Abbot and me. Did you stop by the rebel hideout after His Majesty left?
Yes, I thought it would be wise to assess the situation, but as I said before, there was nothing to see. The hideout appeared as it always had.
And the victim's body?
It was nowhere to be found. Acolyte Fey must have already disposed of it, and anything else incriminating.
So, when you saw the rebel hideout, it looked like it does in this photo?
Yes, I would say that is how it appeared that day.
So the stone slab had been put back in place.
Rebel hideout photo updated in the court record.
A photo of the secret rebel hideout. It is just as Abbot Imi saw it after the incident.
Mr. Wright, is it not time to concede defeat?
No, wait! I just need a little more time.
If you insist. I was entertaining His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred. My wife Believe was in the kitchen cooking the entire time. When I listened to the tape later, I heard a man and a woman quarreling. It sounded like an altercation between Acolyte Zeh'lot and Acolyte Fey. After that, there was a loud noise, followed by haunting silence. I would describe the noise as a terrible crash. Poor Zeh'lot, it must have felt so heavy.
Objection! Abbot and me, you said, and I quote, "Poor Zeh'lot, it must have felt so heavy." Why do you think he felt something heavy? You said the hideout looked like it did in this photo. If so, there's nothing that would lead you to believe he had experienced a heavy feeling. The fact is, of course, a stone slab did fall over on the Acolyte Zeh'lot, impaling him on the Warbad statue behind him. But that was only revealed through her benevolence's divination seance earlier.
Would the defense please get to the point?
My point is, simply hearing a crashing sound shouldn't have automatically led him to conclude the victim was crushed to death.
I still don't see your point.
I'm saying that the High Priest knew. He knew knew how the victim was really killed.
Why?
And that is information only the real killer could have known.
Huh?
I definitely saw it that time. I've got the high priest spirit shaking in his boots. Or should I say, sandals.
Objection!
Objection. Need I remind you, Abbot Inme was with his majesty at the time of the crime. Such an alibi precludes him from being the killer.
That's true, so he can't be the killer. However, he knew how Zeh'lot was killed. Something only the killer could know. Can this discrepancy be resolved somehow?
Well, Mr. Wright, we're waiting for an explanation. I was just getting to that.
Time to think of something quick.
The high priest knew something only the killer could have known because he heard it from the real culprit, his wife. He must have heard how the victim died from the real killer.
The real killer?
Of course, that makes perfect sense. I don't want to believe it, but this is the only possible explanation.
So tell us, who is this real killer?
It's got to be someone close to the high priest, someone without an alibi. The person most likely to be Zeh'lot's killer is...
I'm sorry, my dear, but it had to be you. Take that! Your Majesty, while you were visiting the High Priest's home, you didn't see Mrs. Inme at all, did you?
No, I never saw her. But what does that have to do with anything?
Did the High Priest ever leave your sight?
No, we were talking the entire time, and the food was brought right to the room's entryway.
So the High Priest has an ironclad alibi. But his wife does not.
What the devil are you insinuating?
I'm insinuating that Mrs. Inme might have killed Acolyte Zeh'lot.
What?
Huh? What?
Objection!
Objection! You have a lot of nerve making such a baseless allegation. She had no motive to kill Acolyte Zeh'lot. He was like family to her.
Maybe, it was an accident. No, we can't entirely discount the idea. Especially if you consider that Mrs. Inme could have been the one posing as Lady Kira.
Objection!
Objection. Even a fool must temper his foolishness at times. Or do you truly believe Lady Kira would kill Acolyte Zeh'lot, though he was not a rebel?
Objection!
Objection! As we all know, the High Priest was secretly a rebel. It would follow that his favorite disciple could very well be a rebel too.
Are you suggesting that Mrs. Inme killed her husband as well?
As sad as it is to think she'd kill her own husband to rid the kingdom of rebels, I don't think we can rule it out.
Hold it. You claim my wife is that rebel hunting Lady Kira, and that she slew both Zeh'lot and myself, my lovely wife? That is utterly impossible! I have never seen the High Priest so angry. It is as Abbot Inme stated. and the accused has already been found guilty of his murder. It is far too late to overturn it.
That's right, Mr. Wright. Now apologize to the good priest before he gets angry again. Quickly now.
No, I'm not going to apologize. The true identity of Lady Kira is a major piece to this trial's puzzle. Admit it, Abbott and me. Your wife, Lady Inme, killed you. Yet even now, you continue to lie in an effort to protect her.
Hold it! How absurd! It appears the lawyer has forgotten. My lovely wife could not possibly battle the rebels in the guise of Lady Kira, for we were blessed by her holiness, and she is with child. Praise be to the Holy Mother.
I completely forgot about that.
That abominable Lady Kira figure who slew me and acolyte Zealot was the accused.
This is bad, but I can't give up now.
Don't forget, my client doesn't have the strength to fight rebels either.
Let's take a quick break and try to reset this whole thing again.
One moment, please.
So here's what we know. Here's what we know so far.
Hang on. And now let's get back to the show. When last we left our stream here, Abbott in me was pensively thinking. How could a weak... how could a weak young woman like her possibly...
Santa! I said no anchovies!
You put anchovies on this thing and you're in big trouble, okay?
You foolish oaf of a lawyer. If only you were as blessed as Lady Inme.
What?
Surely the accused possesses the strength, or should I say the power. The power to battle those black-hearted rebels.
What are you talking about?
My good prosecutor, I see you have come to the same conclusion as I. Such keen insight. Cannonball.
Then you have figured it out as well, Abbott and me? May I ask you to explain to this putrid-brained lawyer?
Certainly, for I cannot allow him to frame my lovely wife for murder. Foreign devil! Your Majesty, allow me to testify as to how Maya Fey is that murderous Lady Kira.
Well, if it would assuage your anger, then by all means, please testify.
Okay. Time for the witness testimony. Maya Fey is Lady Kira. Acolyte Fey channeled Lady Kira's spirit. She is a spirit medium who knows Lady Kira's true name, so she could have done it.
Oh, right, because she was given that scroll. Uh-oh.
So it was a real Lady Kira who returned to root out the rebels among us. She attacked and killed me with a strength far beyond any mortal woman.
But...
Do you understand now? Murder by spirit channeling explains everything.
This is the only way the accused could have defeated one rebel after another. Indeed, I am a living, or shall I say, dead proof of her terrible power.
Maya's ability to channel spirits. It's come back to haunt her.
Now, is it not time to let it go and move on, Defense?
No, never. I'll never give up.
Check the YouTube feed.
Yep.
To channel spirits. It's come back to haunt her.
We got it.
Now what? Think. How can I prove that Maya couldn't have channeled Lady Kira?
All right. Okay, cross-examination time. Maya Fey is Lady Kira. Acolyte Fey channeled Lady Kira's spirit. She is a spirit medium who knows Lady Kira's true name, so she could have done it. Okay, well, what about this? Wait, no, it can't be.
Well, yeah, that's the one we're going to go with. Objection! The Tome of Secrets is only given to the priestess who performs the purification rite. Is this your proof that my client could have channeled Lady Kira?
Yes, indeed. For it contains the true name of Lady Kira, a secret only revealed within.
Abbott and me? I'm afraid you're mistaken. This couldn't have been used to channel Lady Kira.
What nonsense!
Well, Mr. Wright, would you care to explain? This is why my client couldn't have channeled Lady Kira.
Legs, maybe? No.
Oh.
Take that!
Take that! Lady Kira's face is hidden behind a mask in the Tome of Secrets. Oh! Remember, kids, you have to have a face and a name. You need both a name and a face to channel a spirit.
It can't be.
Without a face, it would have been impossible for my client to channel Lady Kira. Oh my! Therefore, the claim that she became Lady Kira by means of spirit channeling is patently false. Gah! And with Lady Kira out of the equation, my client had no motive to commit murder. Well, but then, who is the rebel hunting Lady Kira we've been reading about in the paper?
What? Well, there's only one thing to find out.
There's only one other person on the entire planet that has the capability of channeling a spirit.
Hi, Blake. Blake King, thanks for joining the chat, my man.
Hey, you're just in time for tea.
Yes, who is this other suspect, if indeed there is one at all? Let us hear the defense's brilliant deduction.
Think. The true identity of Lady Kira is the key to solving both murders. I thought Mrs. Emmy was suspicious, but her pregnancy takes her out of the running. And Mr. Are'Bal is a rebel, so that doesn't make sense. That leaves us with...
Mr. Wright, you have that look again. The one where you know you have to say something, but you can't figure out what it is.
This is my chance to really turn up the heat. I'll just have to stir the pot till something floats to the top.
Your Majesty, I know who's been posing as the rebel-hunting Lady Kira. You do? Are you sure about that? Yes, completely. I sense that I may regret this, but please go on and explain. Thank you, Your Majesty.
This is who has been posing as the rebel-hunting Lady Kira.
Well, who is it?
Take that!
The true identity of the rebel-hunting Lady Kira we seek is Puhray Zeh'lot. What's this? The High Priest's murdered disciple was Lady Kira, you say? Kind of makes sense. What? Peace. I say peace. The defense will continue. Yes, Your Majesty. I whittled down the list of suspects until there was only one left.
Objection. But a process of elimination is not the same as solid evidence. I assume you have evidence to back up your claim.
Yes, of course.
We'll have some in a moment, that is. At least I hope so. Maya wasn't Lady Kira, and neither was Mrs. Emmy or any of the other possibilities. That leaves Zeh'lot, and I have the evidence to prove it.
The evidence that proves Acolyte Zeh'lot was posing as Lady Kira is this.
It's also my birthday. Happy birthday, Blade King!
Take that!
Take that. This is what proves that Acolyte Zeh'lot was Lady Kira. The Lady Kira's warning letter.
How absurd! What could that possibly prove?
Posing as Lady Kira is this.
Again, just double checking stuff.
What could that possibly prove?
Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, you stated that this warning letter proved that my client was Lady Kira, and the reason you gave that was that the High Priest's house was locked tight. But there was another member of the family who lived there. Therefore, Acolyte Zeh'lot could have delivered the warning any time he wanted.
What is he talking about? That's just not possible.
Are you saying Lady Kira was not the culprit, but rather the victim?
That's exactly what I'm saying. But that would overturn the entire premise of this case. This trial has proceeded on the assumption Lady Kira was behind the serial killings. But if Lady Kira is one of the victims, who was the killer and what was their motive?
The only suspect left is Mrs. Emmy. There's only one possible motive.
What if Mrs. Inmee is a rebel? What?
Fiend! You're still bent on casting suspicion upon my lovely wife! Blasphemer! You have no evidence of this! Repent for the mistrust in your soul!
Objection!
Objection! Well, you have no evidence either. After all, the dagger with my client's prints on it wasn't what killed Acolyte Zeh'lot. And the plumed Punisher theme that he heard could have been an alarm clock. That means all of the evidence linking her to the crime have been called into question. Was Lady Enemy a rebel?
And did she pose as Lady Kira to kill Acolyte Zeh'lot? Or was Acolyte Zeh'lot a rebel, and was the accused the Lady Kira who killed him? I would say either scenario is just as likely. What are we to do now?
Hold it! The alarm clock, you say? Do you mean the one in the rebel hideout?
Yes, but what of it?
So that's it.
What's gotten into him?
Abbot in me. Just what is so comical?
He ain't done yet. Forgive my outburst. That has simply tickled my funny bone.
What did?
The time the theme song came from the plumed Punisher clock, you say? That alarm could not possibly have gone off.
What makes you say that? The clock was working just fine the last time I checked.
Try using your head for a change. Will not the existence of a secret hideout be given away if an alarm kept going off?
Wait, you don't mean...
Indeed, we leave the alarm switched off at all times.
No! No, that just proves Lady Inme is the killer. I know why. In that case...
I am sad to say that the defense's claim does not hold water.
Would you care to respond, Mr. Wright? Oh,
This can't be happening. Not now.
This should put an end to the lawyer's futile struggles. The theme song the victim heard was from the accused's strap, just as we suspected. Therefore, the accused is the rebel hunting Lady Kira and the victim's killer.
What is Taurus planning?
well, we're not sure, but tune in.
I need an opening. Something I can raise an objection to.
That plumed Punisher theme song Acolyte Zeh'lot heard in his final moments. I too heard it by way of the listening device.
But did you really? If you had heard it, why didn't you testify to the fact before?
Is it not obvious? I did not know such a tune could become a key matter of dispute.
Yes, the matter of the theme song came up before Abbot Inme was channeled. Oh, right. Well then, what if he's lying about the clock's alarm being switched off?
Miserable wretch! That would be a pointless lie, one easily disproven. If you check the clock, you will see that the alarm is in fact switched off.
Come to think of it.
Check the voice box. What a fine item. And this switch, if I'm right...
We set the switch back into the off position before we left.
I remember hearing it clearly. Those distinctive taiko drums in the intro are etched in my mind. They went...
Am I thinking what I'm thinking?
Duck don 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 don. It's gotta be the other theme.
Distinctive taiko drums in the intro? This trial has gone on far too long. Shall we move ahead to the verdict phase now?
By all means, and let us also return Abbot Inme's spirit into the Twilight Realm. Before I go, let me say a word to my darling wife.
Objection!
Objection! Now hold on just 1 minute. Your Majesty. Yes? The High Priest's statement is inconsistent with a certain piece of evidence. It is?
Still you writhe in defiance of your fate. The very sight reminds me of a tortured soul, writhing in flames.
You won't be saying that once I show you the evidence.
Now all I have to do is pick the right one. This piece of evidence is inconsistent with that statement about the taiko drum intro.
Steel samurai.
If I can find it. Well, it's either the...
Take that!
Take that! This is what's inconsistent with his statement. My client's plumed Punisher strap.
What does that have to do with anything?
It plays the plumed Punisher theme song. And here it is. The theme to the plumed Punisher, Warrior of Neo Twilight Realm. Do you see what I mean? The music the victim heard in its final moments might not have been the plumed Punisher theme song. I am afraid I am not following you. What was it if not the plumed Punisher theme? In his final moments, Acolyte Zeh'lot heard the Steel Samurai theme. There are no taiko drums in the intro of the plumed Punisher theme, so what Acolyte Zeh'lot actually heard in his final moments was the theme of the Steel Samurai, Warrior of Neo Old Tokyo. No. Peace, 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 I say. Mr. Wright, what is this Steel Samurai of which you speak? The Steel Samurai, Warrior of Neo Old Tokyo, is an action hero show from America. The Plume Punisher theme is a total is very similar to it. If you didn't know about the Steel Samurai, you could easily mistake the two.
But the fact that Acolyte Zeh'lot heard music from an American action hero show is irrefutable evidence that the accused was in the secret hideout.
Actually, no. You have it backwards.
Backwards?
That's right. Ms. Fey met an avid plumed Punisher fan here in Puhray, and as a token of their friendship, she traded a certain Steel Samurai item she had for the plumed Punisher strap. And this avid plumed Punisher fan was the one who killed Acolyte Zeh'lot? Yes. And that avid fan is none other than the High Priest's wife, Believe in Me.
Objection.
Objection. Do you have evidence to back up this claim, Mr. Wright?
Man, I was wondering how long it was going to be before we got there.
For as forgiving as a Holy Mother is,
I doubt you would tolerate yet another dose of your baseless slander. I suggest you prepare yourself to face Her Holiness's wrath.
Oh, I'm prepared to turn this entire case upside down, that is.
This is my last chance. I better take a deep breath and review the evidence.
Very well, then. Please present your evidence, if you would, defense.
Which story?
The evidence that proves Mrs. Emmy was the one who killed Acolyte Zeh'lot is this. We're finally gonna get to it. Take that! It's right here in this family photo. Proof that Mrs. Idme and Ms. Fey traded items featuring their favorite characters.
Objection.
A family photo? And what exactly should we be looking at here?
The proof that they exchanged items featuring their favorite characters is right here.
Take that!
Take that. Look at Mrs. Inme's left wrist. You can see the Steel Samurai's trademark top knot right there. Which clearly makes this a Steel Samurai watch. Why, I never knew your wife had such hobbies up it in me. This family photo was taken right before Acolyte Zeh'lot was murdered. By that point, my client had the Punisher strap and Mrs. Inme had the samurai watch. So what the victim heard in his final moments was none other than the sound of the watch Mrs. Inme was wearing.
Hold it! I wish to amend my testimony. What I thought were taiko drums was something else. My wife never had such a watch. It's the truth, I tell you. You must believe me, Your Majesty. Satura! What do you got to say now, prosecutor?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Be not deceived by the defense's lawyerly chicanery.
Now what? He's been pretty quiet up to this point. What does he have up his sleeve?
There is a big gaping hole in his flimsy claim.
A big gaping hole? I don't think so.
Oh no, I'm afraid it is there all right. Just like the big gaping holes in your putrid brain.
My brain is neither putrid nor full of holes. I'm not a zombie after all.
Says the dead lawyer walking. He who has narrow of vision focuses on what is before him, never seeing the big picture. Or as they say in your country, you cannot see the forest for the trees. For if it is as you said, and Lady Inme, the rebel, slew Acolyte Zeh'lot, the rebel hunting Lady Kira, then the rebel hunter would have been dead before the high priest was slain.
Ah, that means the high priest could not have been slain by the rebel hunting Lady Kira.
How could I have missed that?
Rebels. No, she's not a rebel, though. It's the other way around. I don't know.
So tell me,
Who are you going to slay? Who are you going to say killed the high priest now?
No! What?
Maybe time to rethink.
I think it may be time to rethink the case. Do you finally understand the sheer size of the holes that riddle your putrid brain?
I'm in hot water now. I don't have any other suspects in the high priest's murder.
You mindless zombie. You should have begun your journey into the Twilight Realm long ago. Now let it go and move on.
No, I will never give up. I just need to think things through and figure out who really killed the high priest. All right, get your thinking caps on, kids. We're going for a ride. If Acolyte Zeh'lot had been Lady Kira, he couldn't have killed the high priest. So the question is, who did? Maybe I can get to the bottom of this by reviewing the events of this case in order. What evidence could tell me something about the crime scene before the murder?
It's either Maya's testimony or the Warbad dagger. You know what Maya's statement was? The spring water was already stained red when we arrived at the inner sanctum on the day of the rite.
What does the story say?
Yeah. Yep. The spring was stained red before the rite.
Oh, right. Maya said that the spring had been stained red before the rite even began. The spring was already red before the high priest's murder because
of, well, either Zeh'lot's blood. Has to be. The spring was stained red by Zeh'lot's blood.
That's right. Zeh'lot had been killed in the rebel hideout the day before the rite, and his blood had flowed into the spring. Wait a second. The High Priest knew that Zeh'lot had been killed in the hideout. So why didn't he report it to the authorities? If Maya had been the killer, he could have easily had her arrested on the spot. Why didn't the High Priest inform the authorities right then?
To keep the hideout hidden. Wanted to keep the hideout secret, that makes sense.
If he reported Zeh'lot's murder, the authorities would find out about the hideout. That's what he was worried about. But by going through with the Wright, the High Priest risked having Maya see the spring running red with blood. He knocked her out. Why did he have to go through with the Wright? Did he want to set up the scene
During the Wright. Use the Wright to cover things up. He wanted to set up the crime scene to conceal the hideout.
But how was he planning on concealing the source of the blood in the spring?
He used either Maya's blood or his own blood. He used his own blood.
He killed himself. He concealed the source of blood with his own. That was how he kept the rebel hideout a secret. It's all starting to fall into place. I know who killed the High Priest.
It was Trust himself.
That's right.
Trust's death was a suicide. I can't believe it.
The High Priest took his own life to keep the rebel hideout a secret.
Who moved his body? Who moved Zeh'lot's body? Oh, he did.
No, somebody else did, I think.
The High Priest wasn't murdered by anyone. He took his own life to keep the rebel hideout a secret. What? What's this? What? The High Priest committed suicide? I have never heard anything more absurd. Objection. The lawyer has placed a stain on the good priest's death with his putrid brain. Its putrid, gaping holes are as large as a hole in his logic. What hole? You still fail to understand. You truly cannot see the forest for the trees. You claim the High Priest took his own life, but have you considered who brought the dagger to the Plaza of Devotion? After the High Priest was killed, the dagger was thrust into Acolyte Zeh'lot's dead body. Only the accused Maya Fey could have done that. It is as Prosecutor Sahdmadhi says. Your claim is rather porous in its logic, and your evidence is too weak. You cannot prove that the High Priest took his own life to conceal the rebel hideout.
Right. The dagger was impaled in Zeh'lot's body, but his body had been placed at the plaza the previous day.
Well, Mr. Wright, would you care to respond?
Zeh'lot's body was already in the plaza the day before the rite. But what if the dagger was also already in him at that time?
The dagger was never at the inner sanctum. Taras died by a different weapon. Of course, that's it. What is it? There was no need to remove the dagger. It had already been stabbed into Acolyte Zeh'lot's body the day before the rite. What? So that means... What does that mean? It means the dagger wasn't the weapon that took the High Priest's life. Objection. But no weapon was ever found at the inner sanctum. If you will not listen to reason, then I insist you prove your assertion. Show us what you believe the real murder weapon to be. The real weapon?
I got nothing, but I know there had to have been a weapon there. If I think back on the trial thus far, I'll spot the clue I need.
Well,
Would the defense care to tell us what the real murder weapon is?
This is what really killed the high priest. That warbad statue again.
Take that!
Take that! What really killed him has been at the inner sanctum all this time. And its lethality has already been demonstrated by the late Acolyte Zeh'lot. That's right, it was the warbad statue.
You believe that that statue claimed both victims' lives?
Would you care to chime in, Abbott in me?
No, he lies. Pay him no heed.
Hold it. Why, it's...
In me.
Hold it.
Darling, don't you think this has gone on long enough?
Hold it. Believe. No. Your Majesty, my wife knows nothing.
Please, Abbot in me, let your wife speak. Now, Lady in me, please continue if you would.
It's that time again.
And what time would that be?
2:30 in the afternoon. The time my husband conducts his daily prayers. And the time Puhray was slain.
Huh?
Oh boy. Her alarm came off.
Oh, my. That sound. It's
The Steel Samurai alarm!
I, too, like to pray at the same time as my dear husband. So I set an alarm to remind me each day. But I had no idea it would come to this.
No, stop. She knows not what she speaks.
Your Majesty, I am the one who slew Acolyte Zeh'lot.
He fainted.
Abbot in me. Bailiff, summon a physician at once.
Get a medic over here!
Good one.
The physician is now attending the high priest, so there is no need to fear. Now let us continue.
And what about the half of them called Maya that's still among the living? Mrs. Inme, will you tell us everything you know?
The truth is, I am a rebel, just like my husband. This tragedy unfolded before the rite, during the Feast of Blessings. I'd gone to the rebel hideout to prepare it for Datz's escape. Checking for the...
And that's when Acolyte Zeh'lot suddenly appeared.
Yes. But I was shocked when he saw me there.
Acolyte Zeh'lot did not know you were a rebel?
I do not believe he did. I believe he was there simply to investigate the hideout.
And then he suddenly came face to face with Mrs. Inme. So the true identity of the rebel hunting lady Kira was Puhray Zeh'lot?
Yes. He was a member of the secret police, serving directly under the Minister of Justice.
The secret police?
And this is what he said to me. I can kill rebels with impunity. The Justice Minister has my back. He was using his position within the secret police to deal us rebels a heavy blow. But murder sanctioned by the Crown is still murder.
Even without... Even without the DC Act, Dhurke's insurgent scum buddies' days are numbered.
What's that supposed to mean?
Let's just say I got a little trick up my sleeve, so I'd watch it if I were you. Because you got a defiant attitude, like one of them dragon dupes.
The trick up Minister Inga's sleeve was Lady Kira.
No, this can't be. My father would never.
This must be a bolt out of the blue for Rafa.
This explains why Acolyte Zeh'lot abandoned his real name.
Yes. He even went as far as covering up the tattoo that all Karina's clergy members receive.
Lady Kira was a member of the secret police. That explains why no order was given to investigate her attacks.
I guess I'm not alone in hearing this for the first time.
But, this cannot be.
True? Is Minister sanctioning state-sponsored murder?
Peace. Now, Lady Inmi, please continue.
Puhray suddenly lunged at me. That's when I pushed the stone slab toward him with all my might. But I never meant for what happened next to occur.
Hold it. Allow me to take it from here.
But Inmi, are you sure you're all right now?
I am sorry you had to see that, but you need not worry about me. I am already dead.
Please, we need to know what was so important that you would take your own life.
After I learned that my wife had accidentally slain Zeh'lot, I chilled his body with snow to make it seem as if he died more recently than he did. Then, I later moved it to the Plaza of Devotion and inserted the dagger into his wound. The plaza was empty at that time, for it was before prayer time had started. Finally, I placed his body in the prayer pose, knowing that no one would notice anything was wrong until the rite had concluded.
It is perfectly plausible that no one would disturb him if he seemed to be praying. We do treasure our prayer time after all.
So you admit you tried to pin this crime on Maya Fey?
Yes, this was all my doing. I never told my wife of my plan, for surely she would have tried to stop me.
How did you get Miss Fey's fingerprints on the dagger?
I had her hold it while we were rehearsing the rite the day before, and right before the rite, I drugged her with a sleeping agent. Then, I put Lady Kira's robes over the warbad statue.
That means Maya was probably already groggy by the time the rite started.
Finally, I ended my own life to ensure that the crime would appear to have been by Acolyte Fey's own hand.
But when your body was discovered, Lady Kira's robes were on the ground. How did they end up there if they were on the statue?
After I impaled myself on one of the statue's dagger-like feathers, I used the last ounce of my strength to hurl my body backwards. As I did, I grabbed onto the robes, taking them with me as I fell back onto the ground.
How terrible! What possessed you to do such a thing?
You didn't have committed suicide simply to frame the accused.
Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, as one well-versed in our kingdom's legal system, I would expect you of all people to understand.
Understand what?
This kingdom's legal system. Mrs. Inme's crime, your suicide. It can't be. That would be sadder than sad. Why, I believe the defense knows of what the High Priest speaks. Yes, I finally understand. This explains why the High Priest took his own life.
Take that!
The Defense Culpability Act. Circumstantial evidence supports Mrs. Inme's killing of Acolyte Zeh'lot in self-defense. However, it would be next to impossible to prove it without a lawyer. That's why the High Priest wanted to pin the crime on Maya Fey.
I fail to see what that has to do with his suicide.
In Qur'an, the divination seance is the most important piece of trial evidence. The High Priest wanted to frame Ms. Fey as a serial killer. It was a clever plan in which he made sure he'd see Lady Kira in his final moments.
The lawyer speaks true. That is why I placed Lady Kira's robes upon the warbird statue. I made it seem that Acolyte Fey was the rebel hunting Lady Kira.
Hold it! But are you saying you used my divination seance to produce false evidence?
Forgive me, your benevolence, but it was the only way to help my lovely wife.
If you had approached me first, I could have proved that the murder was in self-defense.
Perhaps, but I had little faith in lawyers despite being a rebel.
How utterly foolish to cast away one's life for such a reason. There must have been other ways to cover up the crime.
Yet I had done so, my wife would rush to my defense, and when the case went to trial, she would suffer the same fate as I under the Defense Culpability Act.
I could not have lived with myself had she been convicted because of that fiendish man.
This cannot be. We have turned under the laws of our kingdom. It has all been.
Poor Rafa. She's really taking this hard. But I can't say I'm surprised.
Mr. Phoenix Wright, it is time to show the might of your legal prowess. You mustn't allow another innocent soul to be charged under that despicable law.
Of course, I'll do whatever I can.
What I have done to you and Acolyte Fey is unforgivable. I can only offer my most humble of apologies. Your Majesty.
Yes?
I ask that you please look after my wife.
You have my word.
Your benevolence, it is time that I return to the Twilight Realm. The Magatama of parting, if you please.
Very well. Hold it. Your benevolence. Please, allow me the honor. Yes, it would be more fitting for you to send him on his way.
This is in me.
Darling, I'm so glad I was able to see you one last time. Thank you for everything.
I'm sorry to leave you like this, my love.
But now you can watch over me from the world beyond.
Yes, always and forever.
And with every breath I take, my darling, I'll be thinking of you.
Notice how they put his clothes back on? Mm-hmm.
Farewell, my darling tourist.
Oh, boy.
The High Priest has returned to the Twilight Realm.
Maya!
I feel great. I guess that means you didn't leave any regrets behind. Oh, but what about the trial, Nick?
It's over. It was a sad reality born of love, and a great tragedy born of the Defense Culpability Act. Well, I see no need to continue this trial. Does the prosecution have anything to say?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, I owe a debt to you, one that I will pay back in court someday.
Now, to deliver today's verdict and overturn that of yesterday's trial. With respect to all current and previous charges against them, I hereby declare the accused, Maya Fey, and her defense, Phoenix Wright.
All together, everybody!
Say it out loud. Not guilty! Let's go! So beautiful.
Yes. Yes, very, very beautiful indeed.
Man, I love it when a plan comes together.
Me too. Me too. May the 12th, 4:20 p.m. High Court of Khura'in, accused lobby.
How ironic. 420, High Court of Khura'in.
So I was thinking, Nick, the legal system here is really stacked against the defense. It's totally unfair.
Yeah, it even forced the High Priest to make the ultimate sacrifice just to protect his wife.
It's just so sad.
Protect the status quo or join the revolution. The real Lady Kira were here, I wondered which side she would take. Your benevolence.
Huh? What?
I was, just wondering. Are you all right?
Quiet, you. How could I possibly be all right?
Yeah, she's not doing well at all.
Who do you think you are? Suddenly appearing before me, trampling my insights underfoot and plunging the whole of justice into utter chaos. You even desecrated my mother and father's teachings, you soulless infidel!
Oof, that was a bit more extreme than usual.
What am I to do? I had always believed that communing with the victim's Mutama would lead me to the absolute truth. But each time you overturned my insights, it was revealed that they served to support false charges rather than the truth. I am left now with that heavy truth in my heart.
I'm sorry, Rifa.
Perhaps I am not worthy of hearing the voices of the Mitama.
That's where you're wrong, Your Benevolence.
What?
That's where you're wrong, Your Benevolence.
Maya?
How dare you!
Your role is to bring forth the voices of the Mitama into our world. If you don't do it, who will?
You know nothing, Maya Fey. It was spirit channeling, not a divination seance that brought the truth to light. How dare an outsider like you employ the Queen's secret art? But what can I do? My spiritual power does not even approach yours. Is it not a cruel joke? The royal priestess bested by a lowly outsider?
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Why not? It is worth at least a laugh or two.
You shouldn't talk like that.
Huh?
Listen, Your Benevolence. You were just fulfilling your duty, weren't you? And you're the only one capable of performing the divination seance, right? The station of royal priestess is not something to abandon lightly.
The station of royal priestess?
The people of your kingdom believe in you. But if you really mean all that you just said, then what are they supposed to believe in?
You know not of what you speak.
Another cheap viewer said, nope, nothing there. Oh, never mind. Actually, I kinda do. After all, I'm only here training so I can become the master of my village back home.
A village master, you say? I did not know. It seems I owe you an apology. For even today, I called you a neophyte practitioner.
It's all right, Your Benevolence. Thank you for finally acknowledging me.
A future queen and a future village master? I guess it shouldn't be a surprise, considering they may have had a common ancestor.
Maya's right, Your Benevolence.
Head? Bobhead?
Your insights were a crucial piece of evidence in this last trial. It doesn't matter if they weren't always 100% accurate. You should be proud of what you did. You've played an important role in assuring that justice was served. And besides, your insights aren't the problem here. It's your it's your kingdom's legal system. Without lawyers, your insights have come to be accepted as the sole truth. And the Defense Culpability Act, which gave rise to that, is the root of it all.
But that is the dangerous thinking of a rebel.
Your Benevolence, as Crown Princess, you are destined to rule this kingdom one day. That means there will be many things that you alone must determine. Things like how to keep your people happy and what is true and what is false. And most importantly, what role you must play therein.
I wonder if I am even up to the task.
Knowing you, Your Benevolence, you're more than capable.
I've never heard Maya talk like this before. She's really come a long way.
What the hell?
Well, what was that?
It came from the hallway. Smoke! We better go check it out. Hurry!
Mrs. Inmee.
Mr. Wright, Acolyte Fey, I'm so sorry for what transpired. You were almost sentenced to death because of me. I will make amends by picking up where my husband left off. I will see the revolution through, so nothing like this can ever happen again. For that is the depth of my love for my dearly departed husband.
Lady Inmee, we gotta hurry!
That voice. Is that Mr. Are'Bal?
I must tell the people they must learn that the peace we enjoy is a false one. One built on the backs of innocents charged with false crimes under that odious DC Act. We have it in our power to forge a society in which the law judges all of us fairly.
Hey there, PW. I wish we had more time to talk, but Dhurke, everything's ready. It's go time.
It's Dhurke.
You get
Dhurke? Dhurke? Wait, was that the rebel leader, Dhurke?
Oh, don't let him get away!
The power to forge a society in which the law judges all of us fairly. It's the start of a legal revolution.
Hey, Nick. Hate to bother you while you're lost in thought, but I just got this great idea.
What is it?
The Steel Samurai versus the Rebel Dhurke. I bet it'd make for another awesome TV show. And if we threw the Plume Punisher in there, everyone would go nuts over it.
I'll never get what she sees in those shows. But it's good to know that no matter what happens, Maya will always be Maya.
Jesus.
Well, that's the end of that case.
Fiend!
And that is a perfect time to sign off. That is the perfect time to sign off. Save that current progress, cause
You never know.
So what a case that was. So folks, yep, we're about 3.5 hours into this, and I know it's been kind of tedious, but I think we got this down to a science. So thank you so much for your patience in all of this, and as always, tune in next week. So before we get any further, I am the Cannonball. Okay, I guess we're gonna do this together. I am the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the Package Andrew Steele.
We are the Steel Brothers, and we are for real. Top guys out. Ciao.
Adios, muchacho.